my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and these are the hottest Golden Age comics of the week, and it's a fun list. It's a great list. First book on the list is Flying Saucers, no number, but it's Flying Saucers from 1952. There's actually a different version of this book from 1953 or 54. This is from Avon, and it's a Gene Fawcett cover. Now you can tell the difference between the first printing and the second printing by the searchlights. If it has the searchlights, it's a second print. No searchlights, it's a first print. It's more of a black sky on the first printing. And this actually, according to my friend Steven, if it has the searchlights and it's the second print, then it actually has a little bit more of the complete story. So you can take that for whatever it's worth. So it might be actually good to get the second print. Now this was a 2.0 that sold, and it sold for $247.50. Now there's no previous sales for this book in this grade, but there was a 1/8 that sold for $183 in April of 2022, which works out to being around, if it was a 2.0, you would expect it to sell for around $203. Now there was also a 3.5 that sold for $338 in December of 2023, and that would work out to a 2.0 price being around $193. So I would have expected this book to sell for around that, just around the $200 range. And this is a little bit above that, so not quite a major record, but you know, about 10% above what you would expect it to sell for. So there's only 27 of these on the census, and 24 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 9 on the list is Planet Comics number 50. This is from Fiction House, 1947. It's a sci-fi cover with some really cool elements. It's got the skeleton hand, pointed gun. You got this good girl cover as well. And the other thing that's interesting is there's like a man and a woman. The woman's kind of facing the skeleton hand, but the man is sort of piloting the ship that they're on. And you can see that he actually has like pedals, almost like he's driving a car. It's just a funny element to the cover. Now, these Planet comics have become sort of more and more popular over the years, and especially with the rise of Dave Stevens, because Dave Stevens did an homage to one of the Planet comics. So there's a lot more interest in Planet comics. But this was a steal, because this was a 5.0 that sold, and it sold for $360. Now, that's actually a new record. However, the previous record, for example, was $158.53 back in March of 2017. However, there was a 4.5 that sold, so a slightly lower grade, that sold for $550 in September of 2023. So this is much less. It's a double the previous record, sure, but it's less than what you would have expected this to sell for. You would have expected maybe around $650, $700 maybe even. So, you know, this is a bit of a steal. Somebody got a really good price on it. $360 for a 5.0. This is a great price. There's 127 of these on the census, and 121 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 8 on the list is Crown Comics number 1. This is from McCombs, 1944, and it came out November of 1944. Now, that's really interesting to note, because it's like right at the end of November that this book came out. Beginning of that month, the same month in 1944, Matt Baker made his first comic art appearance in Jumbo Comics number 69. Well, this book could be Matt Baker's first cover art. He did the pencils on it, so it could be his first cover art. I haven't been able to confirm that, but from what I can see, it looks like it is his first cover art, because it's only a few days after he did the Jumbo 69. So hopefully it's the first first art cover appearance of Matt Baker. And Matt Baker is like one of the quintessential golden age artists that people have been going crazy over. So this was a really good buy for whoever picked it up because it is potentially a very major key for Matt Baker collectors. This was a 2.5 that sold, and it sold for $399. Now, there was no previous sales in this grade, but a 5.0 sold for $660 in April of 2024, which would make a 2.5 sell for around, you'd figure it would be around $325. And there was actually a 4.0 that sold for $323. So this is actually, and that was in February of 2022. So this is actually higher than the 4.0 sale. So this was a very, very strong sale for this book. There are 27 of these on the census, and 26 of them are Universal Blue Labels. The next one, number 7 on the list, is Dell 4-color 189. It's from Dell, 1948, and this is a very major key. Kind of one of those ones that's a bit under the radar in terms of key books, but it is the very first Carl Barks cover. And it also has the second appearance of Uncle Scrooge. So kind of a lot going for this book. It's got the first Carl Barks cover and the second appearance of Uncle Scrooge. This was a 7.5 that sold, and it sold for $695. Now this is way down, actually. Another steal, actually. The record for this book was set back in 2021 for $1,680. So 7.5 for 685, no, 95 is really down. Even a 6.5 just recently sold in September of 2023 for $749. So this is way down, even below the 6.5 sale. Somebody got a major steal on this one too. So another steal of the week, this one would be a major book, major pickup. Whoever got it for that price, it was just a really good one. There's 84 of these on the census, and 77 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 6 on the list is Millie the Model, number 1. This is from Timely, 1949. It's a Ruth Atkinson cover, and it has the origin of Millie the Model, and it's a great bowling cover if you're into bowling covers. A bit of humor there. He's picking up the guy's head instead of the ball because the guy's head is kind of smooth. So I can relate to that. It was a 1.8 that sold, and it sold for $1,350. This is the only sale again in this grade. There was a 2.5, however, that sold for $1,459 in February of 2022. So this is within that price range, maybe a little bit more than you would expect, but not much. I mean, it's right in line with the previous sales. There's only 43 of these on the census, and 40 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 5 on the list is 4-color 178. So we just had the second appearance of Uncle Scrooge. Well, this is the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge, and this is Dell, 1947. It is a great. It's known as It's a great Christmas cover, but it's known as the Christmas on Bear Mountain, is the title that it's working with. They don't have Uncle Scrooge on the cover, but it's a great bear cover. It's kind of an interesting one that way. This was a 6.0 that sold, and it sold for $1,377. The previous record actually was set back in February of 2023 for $1,750. So this is down about $400. Now the previous sale for this book was set back in April of 2024, so just last month, for $1,250. Now that $1,750 sale was kind of an outlier. It kind of was a bit of a jump. So this $1,200 is much more. The one that was $1,200 in April was kind of more in line with the previous trend lines for this book. So I think this is just really the book getting back to where the trend was for the book. So $1,400 book. Still down compared to that big sale, but overall, a strong sale for this book. There's actually a lot of these on the census. There's 303 of them on the census, and 289 of them are Universal Blue Labels. So for Golden Age, that's actually a fairly common book, and you would expect that with these 4-color books. They were massively printed and for the most part saved because they were not as offensive as some of the other books from the Golden Age. Number 4 on the list was Frankenstein #1. This is from Prize Publications, 1945. It is a Dick Briefer cover. It's Origin of Frankenstein, and it also has a Frank Sinatra parody. It's an interesting book because this is one of these popular titles. Kind of has that pre-code horror plus humor. It's more of a humor parody comic, but it is got that horror element to it, so it's got a little bit of collectability for that reason. This was a 3.0 that sold, and it sold for $2,026. Now that's a massive sale. It was an auction that went crazy. I guess there was 2 people that really wanted it because the previous record for this book was set back in January of 2023, so just last year, for $600. So this is like 4 times what the previous record was. Just a massive sale. Just to give you a sense of how big of a sale this was, even a 7.5 sold back in 2020 for $2,000. So this is around the same as what a 7.5 would sell for. So just a massive sale, like way above what you would expect this book to sell for. So interesting, interesting sale. Just people, sometimes you get 2 bidders and both really want it. It goes through the roof. There are 67 of these on the census, and 58 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 3 on the list is Wonder Woman #12. This is from DC Comics, 1945. It is a H.G. Peter cover, and it features the Wing Maidens of Venus. Great little fairy characters, and it's just a really cool cover. You know, you got Wonder Woman basically trying to stop a bomb from dropping, and these little fairies are helping her, trying to catch it with a net, which is really cool cover. And this was an interesting one because this was a 6.5 white pager, and it sold for $2,700, which was a best offer. The original price was set at $3,500, but it was a best offer for $2,700 that was accepted. This is a massive sale, again, another massive sale. So we got major drops, and now we got major ups. This one was majorly up. The previous record for this book was set back in August of 2021 for $826. And there was a sale just recently for the same grade for $811 in December of 2023. So this book really was kind of fluctuating around that $800 range. So this is like 3 times what you would have expected this book to sell for. So just a massive sale. There are 57 of these on the census, and 53 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 2 on the list is Captain Midnight #1. This is from Fawcett, 1942. It is the origin of Captain Midnight, and it's his first title. So there's a couple things going for this book. This was a 6.0 that sold, and it sold for $2,200. Now that again is a massive sale because the previous record for this book was set back in 2022 for $1,100. So this is double what it had sold for just 2 years prior. Massive sale. I think what happened was the seller kind of tricked the buyer on this one a little bit, I think, because it was one of those best offer books, and they originally had the price listed at $4,900, and they accepted the $2,200. Well, they probably should have maybe, whoever bought it probably should have offered even less. because 2,200 even is just way too high for this book. But it is a cool book. It's just that was a bit of a high price. There's 54 of these on the census, and there's 47 are universal blue labels. Number 1 on the list is Chamber of Chills 19. This is from Harvey Publications, 1953. It is a Lee Elias cover, and it's a classic cover. You got this was used for the Misfits, the Monster album. It's just one of these classic covers where you got the the wine glass in front of the girl's face, and you can see the skull, her skull, and it's just really cool pre-code horror cover. Just a classic cover. It's probably one of the top 5 golden age pre-code horror covers of all time. Just very desirable book. And because of that, it commands big money. This was a 1.8 that sold, and it sold for $8,399. The previous record was just set back in December of 2023 for $7,800. So this is up, even just consistently going up month after month for this book. It's one of those desired books. It's like the grail for pre-code horror collectors. It is actually a fairly common book for the Golden Age again. It's not quite as common as the first Uncle Scrooge, but there's 142 of these on the census, and 134 of them are universal blue labels. But that just shows the supply-demand element of this, where there's just so many people that want this book, and there's just not enough supply to keep them happy. I know some people actually hoard this book. They have like 5 or 6 copies of it or more. Just a very cool book. Just one that, as I said, pre-code horror collectors always try to pick up. Yeah, so that's it. Those are the top 10 hottest books for the week. What did you think of this list? I tried to cover pretty much everything. Good girl, sci-fi, like pre-code horror, superhero, parody even. So I thought it was a good list. I hope you would agree with me. Please give me some comments and feedback in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.